Hi Ruben. On the team news front, do you expect any players to be back for that game?
No, I don't know how Mace is going to be for that game. I think Kobe Mino is not going to be ready. Bruno is not going to be ready. I think Matt is not going to be ready. Harry is not going to be ready. So I think we are not going to have more players.
Would you expect them possibly for the Leeds game, any of them back, or is that
I
too
expect
early as well?
Bruno was already saying that he needs to train, but we don't know. We don't know. Kobe Mino is going to start on the pitch also, so we will see. Mata is struggling a little bit. Harry the same thing, so I don't expect to have the players for this game. For the other game, I don't know.
With Wolves, I mean, obviously it's a big result tonight and a clean sheet, but it's massive that you build some momentum heading into the new year and don't take another step back.
Yeah, of course. We need to, and they show that against Arsenal they could want at least 1 point. So in Premier League you never know. They have their problems. We have our problems, but like in this game there is no excuses. We need to win. We'll try to win the game.
You mentioned Bruno. I know he's very persuasive. There's no chance he's going to twist your
No
arm.
chance he's going to play. No chance. No chance he's going to play against Wolves. You can write that.
Hi, Ruben. On recruitment, you've mentioned in the past that there's been mistakes here in previous years. It's been a long-term problem. It feels like this year recruitment's been good. We've seen, you spoke about Aiden, Dorgu's had a good game tonight. All the players in the summer feel like they're contributing and improving the team. Why has recruitment been right in
I don't know.
2025?
Sometimes you need a little bit luck. I think they have potential to do more. I think we are doing things. Sometimes I have one idea. Jason and the board has another idea, and every decision that we make, we need to reach a common ground, and that is really important because you don't need to make everything for the manager, because the manager can change and you need to change everything. But you also need to understand that the manager understands the way of playing, and we are trying every play that comes here. We will try to, if you don't reach common ground, the player will not come. So we just try to do that. We try to make all the assessments of how they live, how they train, the characteristics, and I think we did well, but I think they have more to give. And if you talk about Cunha, for example, Aiden is a young guy. Cunha and Brian, they are from here, from our league, so it's easier for them to perform.
Ruben, you've used different formations in recent weeks, different systems. You've used different players in different positions in those systems. You've used players who haven't played for a long time. Yet everyone seems to be on the same page in these last few matches. From your perspective, how satisfying is it that the coaching that you've done as a team over this time seems to be having an effect on so many different players in so many different ways?
First of all, is a process, and when I came here in the last season, I understood that maybe I don't have the players to play well in that system, but was the beginning of the process. We are trying to build an identity. Today is a different moment. We don't have a lot of players. We need to adapt, but they already know that they understand why we are changing. It's not because of the pressure of you guys, of the fans. It's because now we understand the way we want to play, and the principles are the same. We can change the system, and I think we are going to become a better team. Because when all the players return, we are not going to play all the time with 3 defenders. We are going to improve. But that was something that I was talking about. But then when you talk about changing the system all the time, I cannot change, because the players will understand that I'm changing because of you, and I think that is the end for the manager. So when we are playing well in our system, I think that is the moment to change. If it's the better thing to win the next game, and that's what we did today.
How pleasing is it that you seem to be having the surprise effect when you're lining up on the opposition? Again today, another team trying to work out what to do in that opening 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, today we already knew that the way they would jump in the pressure. and that will be massive. I remember the game from last year. I think they have more physicality. If we go in the back five, they already knew the player that need to jump to and transform that game in 1-1 against this team. I think we will lose. I'm just trying to improve, and all the mistakes that I did in the last season, I am trying to learn a little bit and to change things.
Ruben, you mentioned about Bruno. Previously, you've spoken about how he's a leader and he's invested in the team. How important is he now, even though he's not playing, speaking to the players, whatever it is, delivering your messages?
He cannot be that guy that is not playing, is not talking and speaking. He's always speaking. That's why he's the captain, and he has bad things sometimes, the way he moves his arms, but he has a lot of good things, and he's always leaving the game, the practice every time. Every time he makes recovery from the game, he's the guy that is going to watch the other guys training in that day. So there's a lot of things that you guys don't see, but that he does. He's a great leader.
Now, when he can't play, is he?
Yeah, all the time. And he's the guy that is watching the trainings, even after treatment. He's going there. I don't know if he wants my job or not, but he's a leader. The guy is a leader.
Let's rewind to Boxing Day, because for the first time we had just one match, and it was about between Manchester United and Newcastle at Old Trafford. Now, Ruben Amorim, I'd already mentioned this a little bit earlier on, had stuck to his guns and this formation that he'd persisted with. Suddenly, on Friday night, he changed it, and it worked.
He has to change it because he's got so many injuries and players away at AFCON as well. So he always has to change it. And it did work, but it weren't vintage Man United. Let me tell you, Newcastle will come away from that thinking, how have we not scored? Yeah. Because Newcastle dominated them in the second half and just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. But as I said, he had to change. I thought Heaven, the centre-half, was outstanding for Man United. I thought the young man defended ever so well. And it was a big 3 points for them. But I don't think Man United are back just as of yet, Jules. But it was a big result for them.
Yeah, Aidan Heaven was a man of the match, actually, in that occasion. Let's hear from Ruben Amorim then.
For all that suffering you've gone through tonight against Newcastle United, 5th in the Premier League, so much has been talked about with this opportunity to be 5th, but also, as well, you've got a clean sheet.
Yeah, clean sheet, back 4. So I think I don't need a press conference. I think everything, Kobe Mino is injured, so I think all the subjects, and we can go home to enjoy the Boxing Day, I think.
But did you know what makes me laugh, though? He said back 4, but remember earlier on he said the Pope wouldn't let me change. Yeah. So something's happened. Something's happened over Christmas and he's had to change. But no, I do like it. It's a good answer, to be fair. I like interviews like that.
He said he doesn't need a press conference. I'm pretty sure there was a press conference after, and he was asked plenty of questions because we thought this was the hill he was prepared to go on here with this Manchester United formation. And then suddenly, because of his creative players out, because of having lost players to AFCON, because of injuries to players like Maguire and De Ligt as well, he plays a back 4, they keep a clean sheet and they win. Does he have to stick with that now?
It's not so much sticking with it, but there's nothing wrong with that. But just be a little bit like, you have to adapt at some point. Some of the best managers throughout the history of football have managed to play not just one system, but a range of systems. And because he's been so like 3 at the back, that's why it's become such a big talking point. But the fact that now he's gone to a 4, they have one, it just gives him another option that even when these players do come back, he might look at the opposition and go, do you know what? I'll go with a 4 today, and it won't be less of a talking point. But the first time he ever changed, which was against Newcastle, it was always going to be the biggest talking point. So I think now by him doing that, it's just softened it up a little bit. But it was a good performance for Man United. But as Clinton said there, Newcastle will be thinking, how have we not scored? Because they created chance after chance and just couldn't put the ball in the net.
Yeah, for Manchester United, that clean sheet was a big deal. You've already mentioned Aidan Heaven was player of the match because it was only their 2nd clean sheet of the season and their 1st in 11 games. It was an outstanding performance. Defensively, they had to shuffle. They didn't have Bruno Fernandes, they didn't have Ahmad, and they didn't have Brian Mbeumo. Those are their 3 most creative players. What they did was put Patrick Dorgu out onto the right-hand side, and then he scored his first Manchester United goal. Yeah, it was a good goal. It was a good thing. I think Ramsdale might be a bit disappointed, but then I think there is a player just in front of him. But credit Dorgu, because for me, I don't think he's not been the best at Man United. I was questioning the signing, but this might give him confidence moving forward. I'm going to tell you something. That's great technique, to be fair. When a ball's dropping like that from that high in the air, to control it like that, it's a fantastic finish, isn't it, Benny?
Yeah, it is, yeah. And I think Ramsdale, that's a great angle there. It goes outside starts outside the post and comes back in there. And I think Aaron Ramsdale's maybe a little bit unsighted there. But for Patrick Dorgu, I mean, it's a great finish. Great, obviously, your first goal for Manchester United, playing in an unorthodox position as well on that right-hand side. That will give him confidence.
Yeah, he was very lively and did have plenty of opportunity and managed to score quite a sensational first goal for the club. Newcastle, though, as both of you had already said, they had plenty of opportunities. But this is Newcastle this season. At home, they would have won that game easily. They would have found a way to score. But away from home, the metrics in attack puts them in the bottom of the Premier League, in the bottom 5 or 6.
Oh, wow. It's a problem. It's a problem. It's a big problem away from home. It feels like we're talking about Tottenham again with how they're so good at... No, the other way round, to be fair. But yeah, opposite away. But away from home, nowhere near good enough. For a team like Newcastle, listen, when you go to St James's Park, those fans expect. So it's like having a 12th man. When you're away from home, they've got to do better, though. The players that they've got and the players that they could bring off the bench to change have to do much better than that. Because I still think Newcastle could finish in that top 6. I think the squad of players and the recruitment they've done, when everyone's fit and healthy, they've got a great opportunity. But at the moment, it's just not clicking away from home.
Yeah,
I think a lot of it's a lack of intensity, intensity when they start games away from home. Because, as Clinton said there, they expect at home. It's loud in there. It's hostile. And if anything, that goes against the opposition team coming to St James's Park. Yeah. But they need to find that within now when they go to away stadiums when they haven't got that support, because sometimes they're too easy to play against. And the comparison between Newcastle at home and away, even in terms of individual performances, is completely different. So that's where Eddie Howe needs to look at his team and go, come on now, away from home, we need to start games. And whether that's a change in system, a change in personnel, something needs to happen, because you can't be that good at home and that bad away from home. It just can't happen.